Hello my loves, and welcome back to Crafty Little Dragonfly. Today we have Mami Tomoe, another one of the magical girls that I've been drawing. Mami is a more experienced magical girl who takes the other girls under her wing when they learn about becoming magical girls. Her specialty is ribbons, and her wish was actually to save herself when she almost died from a car accident. I think Mami was about the time when I realized that I could do a solid fill layer and have it have a border and then erase to kind of give line weight and make it outline itself, so then you have an actual already filled color layer with an outline layer that you can separate. I made some auto actions to be able to do that, but her hair still gave me a lot of trouble in the beginning trying to figure out how I wanted it to flow upwards but still keep its drill shape. I honestly think Mami's design is one of my favorites. It's just something about her silhouette and the way that her proportions are with her clothing. I think it's just really cute. She kind of has a bit of a military rifleman look. Her weapons are flintlock rifles, and as far as I know, she makes them herself with her ribbons, but can't make modern firearms because they're more complicated. I thought that was an interesting detail. I started with her soul gem, which is on her hair in a flower clip, and tried to make it nice and glowy to match the other ones. For her hair, I went through a lot of iterations of color layering again. I did the splatter technique from Kyoko and kind of just added some different color dodge layers and played into more of a brighter yellow rather than her kind of muted pastel yellow. I brought in some oranges, some pinks, and just a little bit of blues to tie into some of the other colors as well. For the whites of her clothes, I kind of went in with a little bit of a base pink layer and then yellow around kind of the edges of the shadows. It's obviously a little hard to see because it's very light on white on, glowing iPad screen, but it comes across in the end. Surprisingly, I actually really enjoyed some of the color shifting I got on the shadows for like the corset and the hands. I think those actually turned out pretty nice. And on the skirt, the little border area, I think it turned out pretty cool. For the yellow parts of her outfit, like her skirt, her ribbon, and the yellow parts of her shoes, I kind of wanted to do like a suede look, so I kept it with a little bit of a dappled type of texture on the highlights and the shadowing, and it kind of gave that effect, I think. For her eyes, I had a little bit of trouble. Again, they're kind of a muted color, but I wanted them to kind of pop and glow a little bit. So I started with kind of a basic purple shadowing with the regular eye color, and then just kind of added a bunch of bright yellows, like cream pastel yellows, to kind of make it glow. For her skin, I still tried to do the yellow and pink base undertones technique that I'm attempting. Still a little weird, but again, when you overlay a skin layer on top, it helps to balance it. I went through a couple of iterations when I was trying to recolor the lines because for some reason I keep not organizing things in good ways. I'm like, oh, I'll just separate the layers so that's easier to recolor things, and then I don't. So yeah, if you want to recolor your lines separately, separate your layers correctly into each like color family, but I get there in the end. I do like how the lines for the white parts turned out. I just kind of matched the color but then turned down the opacity on the color layer so that the original lines showed through just a little bit more, so it darkens it while still coloring it. For the eyes, outlining them in brighter oranges and adding a little bit of the orange to like the eyelashes, that actually really helped to sell kind of the glowy look I was going for. I've been wanting to match the eyes kind of to their soul gems, so I think it worked pretty well here. For her rifles, I'm not the greatest at drawing non-organic things. Like, I like drawing people, but I don't prefer weapons, and looking at all of the different parts of the guns very much confused me. So I traced it and simplified it, and don't hate me for my sloppy job. It gets the point across. For the background, I did the splatterwork watercolor effect that I've been doing, starting with like some yellow ochres and then building up on top with some brighter yellows. And I actually went in with one of the layers and made it a divide layer, which gives a really neat effect of like inverting the colors, and I made them kind of blues and purples. So I actually left that in to give a little bit of color variation and make her stand out from the background. In order to kind of blend the edges a bit better, I added a white layer on top with the splatter watercolor brush and kind of blended the edges that way. I think it was actually two white layers, and I reduced the opacity to try and get them to just blend to the edges a little better. That's it for this one. Next time is going to be Homura, and I hope I'll see you back here again soon. Bye guys.